Hello there, I'm Karen and I'm here to do your intuitive card reading today. Today is the 7th of June 2022 and I've had a bit of an off week because last week there was a death in the family, and so I was taking some time to just integrate that and have a little bit of a grieving process, and seem to be kind of feeling, although not fully energized or engaged, because that takes a while, but certainly appreciating the influence that certain people can have on your life, even if it's a small space of time or a small influence. There's much that someone can bring into your life, and also to remember that there's much that you can bring into someone's life as well. So as you know, I read the cards intuitively, so we start with some tarot. I've grounded and opened up my energy already, and it's just a nice way to sort of factor in some new elements into the week ahead that might help us as we move forward. It's always good to acknowledge certain elements and to find a way to incorporate new viewpoints and ideas that actually might help us as we move along. So if you want to read more about me, I've got a website, karentony.co.uk, so by all means check me out there, or on Facebook or Instagram. You can find the links on the website too. I am late in sending my monthly newsletter, hoping to get that done today, but I'm sure you'll allow me a few days grace on that one because of my situation from last week. So we're just going to do some shuffling of these cards, and we're just going to ask for some information that can guide us. Oops, something turned over. That can guide us as we move ahead, and maybe just give us some solace and some comfort as well as to what the next phases are. Okay, so we've got 4 in total there, so I'm going to just read those. And just on the bottom of the card we have the death card, so I'm going to read this as as an acknowledgement of the death process, of losing someone, of death coming at the right time. Everyone has their time. Of there being a blessed transition as well, from moving from this sort of injury or someone who might be suffering in some sense, moving back into the joy. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there is a sunshine rising again. So there is a new horizon coming in. But sometimes it is time for someone to leave behind the bones of them, leave behind the physical, and move forward towards the horizons, into their elevated state, into their magical state. The raven is quite magical. And there's lots of new blossoming here, and there's a family. So good times will come again. We might be suffering from the loss as well, but good times can come again. So it's being aware of that, and with the movement of the horse, and very respectfully bowing down as well, because this is a very respectful event in anyone's life. Whomever it is that you might lose, there's a great majesty that comes with it, because as people are born into the earth, there's such a celebration, and it's just such an unbelievable thing to birth a human with a human soul. And here we have someone leaving, and it is a majestic thing again to allow this transition to, even though we have grasped onto someone in whatever way, allowing that transition, allowing them to move on to the next phase, into the next existence. And at this point, that's the time now. The time has come. Death is around, and it is around us all the time. It becomes front and center, particularly when somebody you know and love and are close to passes. But it is around all the time. It is around many people, and many people have to deal with death on a daily basis if you work in the medical field, but also, families, religious organizations who help with ceremony, and we're all touched by it in some regard, and we will all ourselves take our own journey. So perhaps there's a reflection here as well of, we will all go on that journey. So maintain an awareness of that. Stephen Jenkinson is a very interesting author, and you might say poet or showman in a sense. But he said you can't truly live until you have looked at the fact that you're going to die. When death is near and you look at your death, it is only then by connecting with that you can turn around and go, wow, now I have to live every second. Now I have to live. So interesting, and thank you for bringing that card through. Okay. And it is, just on the top here, it's the 8 of Swords. So it's moving away from the troubled times. So there is a transition of moving from this difficult situation into more clear waters in the background. So there is a process occurring, which is what occurs when death occurs. So that was just the back of the pack, which tends to point to an underlying theme. So we'll see how we can weave this into, oh gosh, it's all pretty similar. I think this is on the theme of death and transition, which has actually been coming up quite a lot recently. I work as a medium as well, and often there is a question about death, dying, people who have passed over, and working with people who want to engage with mediumship. It allows me to connect with loved ones who have passed over and give them some information so that they understand that they are still existing, just in a different space, which is a great thing to do. But we have the first card, which again I'll just read intuitively, and it's coming up as the 8 of Cups. So here you can see someone walking away. So there's a lot of cups here, and that tends to point to love and emotion. And we can see the rivers of emotion here flowing. So the waters, the tears. It's about allowing that emotion to come, allowing the emotion out. We may have to walk away from someone who was present in our lives in one way or another. And this could be a love interest, it could be through the dying process. But it is saying we need to turn our backs, because there is new worlds to conquer. There's new lands to see and view. And there is a necessity that once we have opened the floodgates, allowed this emotion out, allowed the tears to flow. And you can see there's some stones here which sort of are damming, sorry I've not done my nails, are sort of causing a bit of a dam in the waters. So we'll come up against obstacles with this emotion, and you can often come up against obstacles in releasing emotion, purely because there's never a convenient time. No one wants to burst into tears when they're on a journey somewhere, or sitting in a waiting room, or on the tube, or it's not convenient, or it's not. So there's all this maybe holding back in certain elements of releasing this emotion. And it can feel like a bit of an uphill struggle to get out of that, to get out of the shrouded energy. to get out of the heavy cloaked energy. And you can see this person is dressed in dark as well. So it's the morning colours, the darkness. And so it's going to take a bit of effort to gradually come out of this. And there's no rush with this person. They've just set off on this journey. They're just taking steps to keep moving and to understand that the love isn't lost. The love is present and they can carry love with them in their heart. But that there will be a necessity to try and climb out of this space and to see and understand that there are new peaks to climb. There are new adventures to be had when we're ready, when we reach them. And if we keep moving, we will reach them. But it is a matter of taking one step at a time. So that's a nice one to start. The next one is the Queen of Cups. And she tends to point to the Piscean lady. And I'm Piscean, so I resonate quite a lot with her. And she's the Queen holding up her cup of love. So she's very expressive, very emotional, very connected to her emotions. And her emotions overwhelm her like the seas often. And she feels everything emotionally. So what some people feel logically or feel practically, she actually feels it in her body. It hits her energy and she feels it. And she doesn't just feel her own pain, she feels others' pain. This is very much the empath, the person who is connected to all, is aware of the subtle vibrations. She got the dolphins here, so that the sonar signals, the vibrations, the frequency, the wavelength, the sonic booms, the sonar. She's able to pick up these resonances, these signals, these energetic fluctuations in the world, in people, in herself, in the cosmos. And so during an emotional time where you see she's sitting here on her throne, but she's right in the middle of the ocean. So that is so much emotion. That is so much water. So much tears. But she is queen. And she's got the mermaids here as well. So the dolphins and the mermaids. So being near water might actually be very soothing. Immersing yourself in water, be it a salt bath or actually getting into the ocean, into some water, into some salt water, I want to say. Allowing, because we lose a lot of salt in our tears as well. We lose a lot of stress chemicals in our tears. So as well as crying because you feel sad, you can cry because you're stressed. And it's not necessarily that, it's all so sad. Your body is getting rid of all this extra stress through tears. But I'm feeling here the saltiness of your tears is requiring that you immerse yourself in some salt water. You reconnect yourself to that mermaid, merman energy. You swim if you can swim. Go for a swim in the pool. Water is very healing. And not only is it healing to us, but we can emit healing into the water. We can emit love into the water, and the water carries it. Water molecules are intelligent. They have memory. They are... Dr. Emoto did some scientific research. What's the word I'm looking for? Experiments. Thank you. Where he would say a particular word to a drop of water under a microscope, and the crystalline image that he would see showed the responsiveness of the water. And so when you say love or something loving, these beautiful patterns of water came up. And if you said something detrimental or shaming or hateful, these distorted, malfunctioning patterns would arise. And so there is a sense that not only can you get healing from the water, you can emit healing into the water as well. And it's almost as if that will heal everyone who dips in. So here is the Queen rising out of the ocean, rising out of the salty water, rising out of your tears in power. She's the Queen, so she's powerful. And she's holding up her cup. So again, we have cups again. So this is love. This is a presentation of love. This is an offering of love. And it could be love from the ocean, love from your emotions, expressing your emotions of love, feeling okay to say your emotions. She seems very comfortable here. And again, with this one, there is some waves at the front, so she's made a bit of an impact here at the front. But again, on the horizon, it's calm. It's that calm water. And it is that once you release the emotions, once you let them out, once you express yourself emotionally, there comes this, and I've been feeling it, this peacefulness and this nothingness. You know, people might say it's like a numb feeling, but it's almost like an emptying, and then there's just space, and there's waiting. You know, it's at Tai Chi, we empty and fill, often emptying and filling. But before you fill, there's that moment of complete emptiness. It's like meditation, emptying your mind. And you'll get glimpses of that. It'll take a while, but you'll get glimpses of that nothing moment. And it's full. This is what you learn. The nothing is full of something. It's full of a different space. It's like Eckhart Tolle would talk about the pause between words. That's part of the sentence. That carries so much. So don't negate the pauses. Allow yourself to pause. So after the emotional outpouring, after feeling things deeply, because she feels incredibly deeply, you've opened up your heart, you've opened up your emotions, you've opened and offered this cup. And now there's this space, beautiful space. And the next card is this Three of Swords. Now this card tends to point to what it pretty much looks like, which is heartbreak. And it can be sort of a past, present, future thing. It can be past relationships. And the swords tend to point to mental activity, so thoughts and things, the air signs. So there's a possibility that your thinking is causing more pain. But you are held in this window of opportunity. And we have butterflies all around the window. See those little butterflies all around? So these butterflies point to transition. Point to, so you have the caterpillar, and the caterpillar moves into the chrysalis stage. And you would look at a caterpillar and think, that'll never be a butterfly, how could it? And it's in the chrysalis phase, and it transforms. And that's what happens in death. We transform. We go from one state to a completely different state. And we do it through this transitional phase of the chrysalis. And then the butterfly breaks out. And all of a sudden it has these amazing wings and these colours and this ability to fly wherever it wants to go, and to drink the nectar of the flowers, and to be beautiful and appear and be exciting and fun when they're seen, and they add joy, and they add this delicateness, this beauty in nature. And that had to come from the caterpillar. The little caterpillar wiggling along was able to transform it. I mean, that's crazy. And so there's a huge transformation occurring in this time, in this situation. And it's heartbreaking because we lose the connection to someone. We are grieving. This is the grieving, the excess emotions. This is the grieving. We're having to walk away from the love we had. And here we have the broken heart, the heart that felt the pain, the heart that felt stabbed, the heart that's still carrying 3 swords, walking around with this pain. But we can see here there's clouds as well. So this is heaven held. This is supported by the divine. There's a transition occurring here. I seem to almost want to see that the clouds envelop this card and then change it into something. Like the magician. Like they can change it and transform it. You know, the smoke screen comes over and da-da, we're somebody new. And the eagles will help us with that. So the eagles are spirit. And you can see they're in the darkness here, but the darkness isn't darkness, it's the void. It's the space you return to. It's the space of pure potential. The space of creation. The space of life itself, where all life springs from. And so I think it's asking that. Let me see what it says to me. Oh, here at the bottom, my goodness, we've got lots of little birds. So they're kind of looking a little bit like they could be doves. So that could be a nice peace emblem. It's almost, we always say rest in peace, isn't it? So they're coming in to say that we're bringing peace to this scenario. We're bringing peace to this unhealed heart. We're bringing peace and transformation to this difficult situation, which is hurting. And personally, they look a bit like seagulls. And when I see seagulls, because I'm in London and I'm looking out the window, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, for some reason, there can be tons of seagulls outside the window. But for me, that's the angels. The angels are gathered. And the angels are just acknowledging that they're here. They're allowing me to acknowledge that they're here. And it's just a little display for me. And I just go, thank you. That's angelic help. And I did have this on Friday. I had seagulls outside my window. And so this points to angelic help in my mind. The angelic help, the divine help is coming in to transform this, to allow it to transition, because it does have to go through phases. So you have the caterpillar, you have the chrysalis, then you have the butterfly. So it's not just, caterpillar, butterfly. There is a process, there is a timing, there is a becoming which needs a certain amount of time. And it can't be rushed. The butterfly will what's the word? I'm losing all my words today. You'll have to bear with me. Emerge. Thank you. The butterfly will emerge from the chrysalis when it is fully dressed, when it is ready to fly. And we see that we have some cygnets, some baby swans down in the park here. And 3 of them have cracked out of the eggs. And there's 2 eggs left. And it's when is right for them. So we had 1 appear and we were waiting on the rest. And the rest broke free when they were ready. and the other two we're waiting on. So everything has its time, and there's an incubation period. And there's an incubation period when you return to spirit. And as you return, you may feel a certain loss because of all that you had connected with, all the people, all the places, all the nature. And so there will be a transition in letting go of all those things, and an incubation, and a shifting, a shape shifting into your new body, into your new energy awareness, into your fullness of who you are. And then that brings newness. So the Fool is a classic new beginning card. It points to endings and beginnings, which is funny because death points to endings and the Fool points to beginnings. So the underlying theme is that something has died, and this could be related to job, love. It can be, physical, someone has passed. It can also be just situations are ending. But when something ends, something else begins. And so you have the Fool here. And you have him walking carefree. So there's a lightness of spirit. And he's about to leap off this edge. So he's about to go on this journey, and he doesn't know where he's going. He doesn't know the outcome. But if you see here, we have the butterfly again. He is following the lead of the butterfly. He is transitioning, understanding that that is the route the butterfly takes. And he is surrounded in this solar light. He has got this divine light shining down on him. And he is joyful, and he has companions. He's not on his own. He has companions where he is. And he's acclimatizing to the new being that he is. He's high in the clouds. He's high up on the mountaintop. So he's closer to the divine. And he has a small little satchel thing, a little handkerchief tied here. And in it is everything that he needs. So he didn't need to carry so much with him. He didn't need to bring all the physical objects and things that tie us down and that we accumulate. He went with very little. And he went and he has clasped the rose of love. So he is symbolizing that love is around. That love, the divine love, is present. That he is feeling bathed in this love. And he is happy and joyful and coming to grips with where he is. And we see the green shoots and the green grass, and that means that fertile life will happen again. And if you were to think of yourself, if you were grieving, this is showing you that you can understand that someone has transitioned, and you can look to the light for solace. And you can keep moving, keep going in that direction. Letting go of the emotion, turning to the light. Moving forward with your companion, with your loyal companion. Dogs are very loyal. They're very loving. And it can be sort of a leap of faith or a new beginning into something new. Trusting. There's great trust here that he's not going to fall off the ledge. You might say it's blind trust often. But it is something about the unknown. It is stepping into that unknown. And when we leave our bodies, we have to let go of all that is known, all that has been past, and be willing to step into the unknown. Be willing to transform and transition. Know that we are guided, like a guide dog will guide you. You will be guided. You'll be surrounded in love and perfume and delicate energies. And so there really is a true leap of faith here. A true trusting in the process. And it's called the Fool, but it's not foolish. This is confidence. This is allowing. This is, I don't have it all figured out, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to carry my rose in my hand and see who I can give it to. I'm not going to carry too many worries on my back. I'm going to keep my worries small and keep myself free so that I am available, so that I can step forward and be able to collect what is mine, be able to add to who I am. I'm just feeling the power of the sunshine there too. So perhaps this is what will happen over the summer months. New beginnings, new opportunities, new chances. Take a chance. Take a chance on this new thing. Offer someone a rose. Allow yourself to fly free. He's dressed in majestic red and orange. So this is grounding again. This is grounding to the earth. Powerful colours. And these colours signal attraction, attention. You can't miss him. And that comes from his demeanour as well. It's all very interesting. So I might just read from another deck. So that was the Tarot Deck by Juliet Sharman-Burke. And I'm going to now pick a card from the Sonia, I think it's Choquette, Ask Your Guides Oracle. Just to finish the read, sometimes it's nice just to get one clarifying card. So I will shuffle them here on the side. And it certainly points to a very deep message and a very interesting message. And one which I have actually found benefit from, because it makes sense to me in the current space that I'm in, and it makes sense, I'm sure, to many of you who have found themselves in a similar situation. So let's see what our guides want us to know. So we'll just pick a card and see what the energy wants us to know. It's beautiful out there today. Finally, we had a bit of a grey one yesterday after, what's yesterday? Monday. So Saturday was the most astonishingly beautiful day. And Sunday was a bit grey, Monday was a bit grey, but today there's some beautiful cloud formations with some bright white clouds. So let's get a card. Can we have one card, please? Sometimes if I do it quicker, I think it might work better. Almost. There we go. Oh, wow. So the right card always comes out, and here we have rest, and here we have the dove again, the white bird coming in with its peace sign, and in a way you might say rest in peace. And it is the Holy Spirit. And 2 and 4 is 6, and 6 is this year, so 2022, 222 equals 6. So it's very much this year. And actually the colouring of this card, I'm not sure if you pick it up properly on this computer, but it is very much like the colouring of a painting that I've been working on. Full of greens, which is fertile, new energy, creative energy, loving energy. Your heart is green, it's pink and green, but let's work with the green today. So we've got a gentleman sitting here and he's reading. So there's a moment of pause. There's a moment to take stock. So, for example, if this is someone who has passed, they are in a position where they are in that incubation, in that place where they're allowed to rest and recuperate. We call them the halls of healing. And so in this place, there is time for people to come to grips with what's happened, to refine their energy body again, to clear and cleanse and repair. And that could be seen, sorry, I don't know if you can hear that. I think someone's cleaning a car. So they've got the Hoover on. They're reclining here and they're reading. So they're possibly taking in some wisdom. They're possibly growing in some way, learning in some way, being taught something. They're downloading information. They're up-leveling, upskilling to the new position that they're in, the new dimension that they're in. And you see there's lots of growth and flowers. So there is a period of blossoming. There's a period of nurturing, nutrition, of growth, of spiritual growth with the Holy Spirit, of awareness, growth in awareness, personal growth, because even when you pass, you have to evolve and continue and continue and continue in various different ways. And we have the stag here. So we have very much connection with the spirit world, connection with the power of nature, the power of animals, the power to take flight when it's your time. And for us who are here, we are being watched over by Spirit. Spirit comes in very subtly and watches over us. This is not very defined, it's subtle. And when you work with Spirit in that way, you learn to pick up on the subtleties when Spirit appears for you. And the bird is our signaling that our beloved is at peace, that the person that we have lost is in a restful place and is with the Holy Spirit again. And it's saying that we can then take time to rest after the outpouring, after the overwhelming emotion, after walking away from all these tears, after feeling the heartbreak and wanting to take this new venture. We too may need periods of rest. We too may need periods of reading about death, of perhaps praying, reading a prayer book, of perhaps connecting to the higher realms through this dove, the symbol of this dove. And dove is also a symbol of love. So it's a love message coming in from the beyond. And it's almost a recognition and a hello coming in for us from the beyond. I just wanted to pick the one more card. So I'll just go with the one that was on the back, which is compromise. You probably see there's a sort of an ascended master there, and there we are holding hands, making an agreement. And again, I would point that points to Spirit being present, and that there is, actually I'm going to read this, there is a welcoming. So our friend has been welcomed back into the bosom of the master teachers, and there he will continue his development, his education, his growth under the gaze of the high spiritual masters. And you can see all this green, blue and yellow make green, so all this green again, lots of green, green with this card, green with this card, green in my paintings. New growth, new life, new beginnings. I think that says it all. Thank you for listening. Do feel free to comment below and let me know how you found that. You can subscribe to the channel, that would be wonderful. Do share the video if you think somebody might benefit from hearing some of those words and how this journey can move forward. We all know it, we've seen it, we've been through it probably before, but it just reminds us that there is a process that we're passing through. Much love and blessings. Get in touch if you need to. As I said, you can contact me like on my website from the beginning. I mentioned it. But yeah, just you know, take care of yourselves. It's a time to be gentle with yourself right now and just go with the flow. But everything changes and transition is near and your new life will be appearing. And for some, they have gone on to their new life. So blessed be them. Thank you.